He is notorious for his stand-up and his numerous appearances on The Daily Show, but right now, comedian Louis Black joins us in the loop to rant about a few of the topics in his new book. All right, I'm excited. Joining me from New York, comedian and author of the new book, Me of Little Faith, ladies and gentlemen, Louis Black. How are you, Louis?
I'm good.
The tweens go nuts. The tweens go nuts when you're in a satellite box, sir.
Yeah, there's nothing better. It's refrigerated, and I'm actually larger than the city behind me. That's the best part.
If you want to pull a Rampage-style attack on it and scale it, you're more than welcome to.
Well, actually, what's nice is I look around and I can see people naked in there. That's the best part.
That might be against the law. Well, if you happen to see something that's ticker-worthy, let us know, and we'll scroll it at the bottom of the screen.
Please scroll as much as you can. I don't know, but the people in charge there should be told to stop that, okay? Just don't do it. There's no reason. You and I are talking. There's no reason to run anything on the bottom unless it's information that while you're watching the TV, it will say your house is being robbed. There's nothing. It's got to drive people nuts. I don't think reading one thing and hearing something else is healthy for the brain.
But what about
you don't go to school and learn this stuff.
It's multitasking, Louis. For the Adderall generation, they get to hear us talk and then tune us out to read Skater X 2019's Twitter opinion on what we're saying.
It's not good. It's not good for the brain. I'm just telling you. And we're doing the talking. I mean, you know, that's what. Or run the stuff on the screen. But you know, if you want to read, then get a book. Like my book.
Speaking of which, yes. How about your book, Me of Little Faith?
Yes.
In fact, wait, I don't know. Are we running the ticker right now? Can someone tell me? I can't see it on our screen. If we're running the ticker, you take that ticker down for Louis Black.
Yeah,
you remove that while we talk about his new book.
I had CNN remove it. CNN, actually, I forced them to remove it.
You made them go tickerless.
Because I read it. I was reading the ticker. I refused to answer any questions. I just would read what the ticker said.
Well, Louis, the ticker is gone, so I want to talk about the new book now. So Me of Little Faith, I'm assuming you're not just ranting about on-screen graphics in this. What are some of the subjects that you tackle?
Well, really what I'm writing about is for people who are, to put it in a simple way, stumbling toward the light. I mean, there's all sorts of books for people written about people who did like 12,000 tons of cocaine and then met Jesus one afternoon. And then there's all sorts of books about people who just have this unbelievable faith in God and all the wonderful things that have happened to them. And then there's the rest of us who just are screwed and who basically wander around trying to figure out, I kind of think there's something out there, but I'm not really sure. And it's about my experience with religion. It's that simple. Well, and it's funny.
What is your experience then, Louis? Like, where do you err? Are you, I mean, do you have a particular...
I think there's something out there. I'm pretty sure there's something out there. I just can't put my finger on exactly what it is. But I think that when it comes to, like, your basic organized religions, it's kind of limits really the possibilities. I think it's much bigger than that and much more interesting and probably in the end much more fun.
But let me ask you this, Louis. How can you deny the existence of a God when I see him in my French toast or in a burnt Pop-Tart?
Oh, yeah, you do. Isn't that the best? Or on a tortilla, which was the first one that I ran across. Or, and you were talking about eBay earlier, there was a guy who actually sold, I forget if it was a cinnamon bun or a pancake. On eBay, he sold it. It had an impression of Jesus, and he sold it for $28,000. So get home. Hey, you kids, get home and start working in the kitchen. You
don't think that's a perfectly valid medium for Jesus to come back and speak to you in your bowl of Cheerios?
I think that the closest that I've seen Jesus is when I've frozen my vodka in the freezer, and I take it out, and every so often, after 3 or 4 shots, I can see him.
You can see him there clearly. Fantastic. Now, the book includes some classic pieces that you wrote decades ago, and you sort of debunked the belief that the world was created in 7 days. What's your theory there, Louis?
Well, I just think that about 1981, I wrote a thing which was my version of creation. I actually could read it for you if you wanted, if that would make good television.
I think.
And then they could.
Well, hold on.
Then they could scroll along.
That's what I was going to say. We'll pop up the ticker and some subtitles as you get through this. By the way, there's not a font large enough to capture your anger. So how do you work in book form? I mean, do you just put the caps lock on and hope the rage comes out?
Exactly. No, every so often I had to make them make it bigger, but it's generally you can get the sarcasm comes through, that's for sure. And if you know me, you basically I think if you know my stuff, you can hear me saying this stuff.
We can loudly.
I actually wrote the whole book, which is kind of and for you guys out there who are thinking of writing a book, don't. It's not a lot of fun.
Well, what about, actually, I want people that are interested in that passage to pick up your book and read it. But what do you think about, like, the Twitter generation and people who are sort of writing their book or their life 140 characters at a time? Are you into that?
What do you think? My Facebook, MySpace, email. Then I just heard about another one today. Then there's Where Are You in the World? There's like 500 of these places that you can go. Now there's Twitter. How many? Seriously, I don't have enough time in the day to do the stuff that I have to do than to tell people I'm doing it. And if you're walking around telling people what you're doing, then guess what? You're not really doing it, are you?
Right.
You're describing it.
No, I'm having so much fun that I need to take my cell phone out and let everybody know that there's a smile on my face. Because I can't scroll at the bottom of the screen all the time.
I'm not that interested in my life. What kind of ego do you have to think the other people are interested? I don't understand that at all.
Well,
I love what I do, but I don't want to just tell people about it.
Well, Louis, if you look at the scrolling text...
It's hard enough for me to maintain interest.
Look at the scrolling text at the bottom of your screen, and it will explain everything. I promise it. But thank you so much for joining us. The book is incredible. It's hilarious. And really, it's an honor to talk to you, Louis. I really appreciate it.
Kevin, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
And for everybody at home, if you guys want more info on his book, you guys have to visit louisblack.com.